But I will say, I started thinking about this that when I started this podcast network, like, I guess it was 7 years ago.
The DBN.
DBN turns 7 this year. And this month, maybe even.
Dude, happy 7th.
Thank you, dude. 7 was big. Do you remember 7? Do you remember turning 7?
I do not remember turning 7, but I do remember turning 4.
Why?
Because I had a petting zoo.
Oh, shoot.
In my backyard.
How big is your backyard? How many animals? Is this strong petting zoo? Were kids talking about this at school?
So it's actually funny because we were like talking about this in my family group text, and my brother and I were going back and forth, and you know who's right, basically going back through memory lane. And yeah, I was turning 4. It was in Denver, and that was the last time
Denver.
that I was at that house.
Dude,
so that's what I remember.
But what do you like? Do you remember goats?
I just remember. I remember like bunnies, and
smell?
I remember my grandma, and I remember just like the little fences. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so DBN's turning 7, and this like one kind of show that I do on here where I'm like just talking about anything. I called it Hey Dylan, and I don't like that it's called that, I guess, anymore, because it's just weird to be like, hey, welcome to Hey Dylan. I'm Dylan. Like, I should have called it something more generic, which I still could. I guess I'm in charge, but I thought of that today. I was like, oh, because we're doing Hey Dylan 50 in a few weeks, too, with Shay and Richie. We're going to do something big. Yeah. I'll be in Arizona.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm like, oh, man, it's just Hey Dylan, because it started as, like, I heard this guy doing a call-in show, and he was giving advice, but it was kind of silly. Mm-hmm. Like, it would be, like, it was kind of a comedy thing. And I don't think the calls were set up, but I thought, like, oh, man, if the calls were set up, that could be funny. Like, if I told my friend to call in and ask me for finance advice, and then I give terrible advice, I thought that would be funny. And so the intro, which goes like this.
Hey, Dylan, thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Dylan, big fan of the show.
Huge fan of the show. Love what you're doing.
Such a big fan of the show. I'm so glad to have a minute of your time.
Hi, Dylan. It's Gavin.
Dude, Dylan.
Look, I cannot help you. I'm sorry. It's not hard to understand, okay? So here's my thought. You would be crazy to think that.
Welcome to Hey Dylan. I'm your host, Dylan. So basically, that intro was just like a whole bunch of people who had called in and left calls. Okay. So it's like my grandma, who is now passed, is on that theme, which is also, I guess that's awesome. No, that is awesome.
Yeah, man. Have that.
Yeah, because I still have so many voicemails from grandma, which is crazy.
It's funny, I do the same.
Well, that's like, it's one of these things that, like, I guess our generation is the first one to be able to hold so many things digitally and hold so many photos and whatnot, and voicemails is another one where it's like their voice, and that's like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm on reflecting on the 7 years. It's like I am so happy that I've documented so much, dude. Including when you were on last time, Eric Sinsley. Everybody, thanks for being back. You were on last March.
I think it was February.
It was March. I watched it today.
So
I listened today.
It's almost been a year.
Almost been a year.
And I'm a totally different person than I was then. I was dealing with health stuff, and so it feels good to be here. And
yeah, dude. And then we made that West Hollywood Run Club clip, which they reposted to, which was a cool thing.
Which last night I ran my first 2 miles.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because that's what's crazy is so we were at your apartment last time, and when we introduced you to the DBN, you were telling us about how you were a gymnast for 17 years. 17 years.
Yep.
I listened today. That's why. Yeah. And that you loved West Hollywood Run Club and something you did, but then pretty quickly after that, you had to go into surgery, and you haven't ran since yesterday.
Yeah. So the podcast that we did last March, that was after a surgery, and then and then I had 2 more surgeries after we spoke in March. And yeah, as I said in the last episode that we did, West Hollywood Run Club, like, really did a lot for me. And yeah.
Then you had to step away though.
Yeah.
You couldn't run.
My last run, I believe, was around that time. If you remember, I was very wiggling in my chair, trying to get comfortable.
Yeah, you said it specifically.
Yeah. But my chairs also suck. So thanks for hooking me up.
Yeah, I hope these are decent.
Yeah, man,
these
is
are
good.
These are making their debut as well.
Yeah, dude, that's good.
But
yeah, no, I'm on the other side of surgeries and the comeback. And it's been a very different recovery.
Yeah.
Listening to my body more, less booze and less partying, and
well, I mean, like you've done things where like you won't even go see a movie right now, right? Like
yeah, I'm very stern on what I do.
I wonder if AMC would let you stand.
I mean, I went
like if you go back row, you're standing.
I mean, that's what I did. So when I went to see Wicked, that's the only movie I've seen in theaters.
Oh my god!
And that's a long movie.
Which like
that was in November.
Yeah, you were going to movies like before. Like a year ago, we would talk about movies. You'd be going. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the AMC membership, and I canceled it because it was just sitting there. No pun intended.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I went to see Wicked, and I got the seats in the way back.
Nice.
I brought like 6 pillows, one for under each arm, under my legs, and then I would just like stand up every like 20, 30 minutes.
And remind me, what is the specific problem with your back specifically?
So I have degenerative disc disease, and it's pretty bad from what I've been told.
Whoa.
And so I've got a few herniated discs. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I might have another surgery in the future. But I feel pretty good sitting here.
One cool thing I think that's coming out of this, you kind of recently told me about this. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but you kind of want to share your story. And, because like it's something that has clearly really affected your life. And like you're in media, you're, an on-screen talent. Like you want to start a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. And as of last night, 7 p.m. last night, it's official. I'm gonna start a little project.
Nice. What's the vision or the dream for it? Is like what is the premise to?
So it's actually me and my buddy Chris, and I guess I would use the term buddy loosely. And I'm actually very happy that it's happening this way because I don't know how wise it is to start a project with a good friend. So I met this guy named Chris, former pro basketball player. And I met him through West Hollywood Run Club. He runs like marathons like as a warm-up pretty much.
Jeez.
And he had a really bad injury playing basketball maybe like 6 months ago, and he just messed up his leg. He almost lost his leg. So the podcast is going to be about sports and injury and comeback and mental health. And just, the main reason why I want to do it is honestly because I felt so alone, as sad as it sounds, but that's why I started journaling in my phone when I first messed up my back a few years ago. So I have all this material, and I just want to put it out. And I think if it doesn't reach a lot of people, like I think the most important thing, and it's gonna just be so cathartic for me.
Yeah, dude.
And him.
Yeah, I feel like that happens to a lot of people with their art or their projects or whatever, and especially podcast being one that you're talking things out actively. And now you're also probably going to be getting to know this person. This other guy, what did you say his name is?
His name's Chris. And the wild thing is so we had a Zoom call this week, and that's like the first thing, right? If you're going to do a podcast with someone, you have to have banter.
Right. And
I am not a person that can talk to anyone. Like I don't know what you call that, but I just can't like go and talk to anyone.
Yeah.
So with him, it was like we were speaking the same language and we were referencing like very similar things. Granted, his injury is a lot different than mine. But it just flowed.
Yeah.
And so
cool.
He was like, hey, my new thing is like I sleep on things for a day. I'll let you know in 24 hours. And yeah, I got a text last night.
That sounds like something you would say.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
That really does.
I'm usually
that
like,
you are that kind of pause, thoughtful.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm honestly really not that nervous to do this. Like,
Oh, good. Shouldn't be.
No,
You
I
kinda
don't
got
think it
nothing to
should
lose,
be
yeah.
really like. I don't think it should be nerve wracking. Maybe a little bit, but I'm excited to do it, and it's a healthy thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's great even to like throw yourself into something too. Like try to build something, try to like get an extra skill afterward. Cause like we just talked about is like, it takes a lot to kind of put all this on. It's not necessarily just throwing them. I mean, there are easy ways to do it than others. But like it takes a lot, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And like you kind of realize that it is a lot of work and it's a lot to learn. And yeah, it's not as long as you just keep loving it and keep doing it, it's kind of all that matters. Which
Yeah,
is cool.
it's funny too because we had quickly talked about like, hey, what is like this? What's our setup gonna look like? And I brought up the fact like, hey, we could like just to make it easy. I know you're not able to take care of yourself right now. His mom's kind of taking care of him, but he can obviously sit down and talk. I said we could just do like record our screens.
Yeah.
But both of us agreed that we didn't want to do that. That this is the way to go for us.
Being in person. Oh, I mean, I definitely prefer being in person way more because I mean, you definitely lose, of course, that like connectivity. I mean, technology is amazing and like it can work, but it's definitely way better to go back and forth in person.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to worry too much about even tech stuff going wrong too. I feel like that's just another kind of thing. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, that's pretty
I'm excited.
exciting.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
dude.
I think everything's like, I really have not been the person to be like everything happens for a reason or like, follow the path kind of thing. But that's what's
What's
happening.
this feeling like? That's good.
And I honestly think it's helping my recovery with my back, and my mental health and all that jazz.
Well, speaking of your back, so I told you to kind of like come ready for this.
Yeah.
But what are specific back stretches that help you out? And are you also feeling it in your lower back and your upper back, or are you like, yeah?
My main problem is the nerve pain. So for me, the nerve pain runs down my legs. It runs through my entire body. It's in my fingers, it's in my hands, it's mostly on my right side. So that's still my biggest complaint. Luckily, this last surgery kind of took care of the actual back pain.
Yeah.
But after like I did a few months of PT and I ventured into acupuncture, which did not help me. But to answer your question, like stretches has been key.
Which ones specifically? What are your go-to? What are some practical ones?
So for my injury, it's like my hips and my butt. So just doing anything to like keep my hips open. So it's like, it's one of these.
Up on the desk if you're standing or something.
And as you know, yeah, exactly, up on the desk. And as you know, I'm a walking fiend. I usually like before I hurt my back, I would try and do like 40,000 steps a day kind of situation.
Right.
So now I'm obviously not at 40,000, but maybe I'm at like 15 or 20. And I am definitely that lunatic in West Hollywood looking like a little chooch on the side of the street.
Wow.
Like putting my foot up on a fire hydrant. So
Wow.
you just kind of like, I just maneuver my body to see what feels good. But, stretching the calves, hanging off the side of a curb.
Yeah, classic. All the things.
All the things, man.
Dang. Yeah, we got a doctor who will be in the chat too, sounding off on all this. He'll diagnose you based off of everything he's heard. He's a pro, and like I said, I actually think he would go on your podcast.
Yeah,
because he's a physical.
Oh,
therapist.
this is the guy you were telling me about.
It's Richie. Yeah, he's
Wait, is this the guy that was at your birthday?
He was at my birthday.
Okay.
And
dude, I would love to have him on.
Yeah, dude, he's great. He's got a lot of on-camera experience. We do the Survivor stuff together.
Yeah, I've watched.
So yeah, he's great. Yeah, dude, that's exciting. I mean, doing the podcast, you seem to have your stretch. Is there anything else? Like you can walk though.
I mean, so here, okay, I'll quickly give you my,
because you can't run. You're
my
starting to
morning
run.
routine is I stretch out in bed, and then I roll out of bed and I do like 50 push-ups.
Whoa.
And then I'll do some like lunges and stretching. And then my new thing that started like 2 months ago is I stretch in the shower. It's probably not the smartest because you get lightheaded. Or you could slip,
dude. Yeah.
But that's what I do, man.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, I would love to have your buddy on.
No, yeah, he would. I think he'd be good with helping. He came on once, and yeah, that I had him do that as a topic, just general stretches that people can do for their necks, for their arms, for their hips, all that stuff.
Yeah,
because he's he's constantly helping athletes or former athletes or just regular people who trying to get a stretch in or whatever. He probably does a lot more than that too. That's probably oversimplifying. Yeah. But speaking of walks, one thing I have to give you credit for, because I took a friend as well. And what a great thing about living in LA, I think you'd maybe agree with me on this, is that like you can kind of discover something every year you're here. Every week you could go do something that you've never done before, or go to a place you've never been.
Yeah.
It's so big and whatnot. And you invited me to the Hollywood Reservoir, which is a fantastic 3.5 mile walk, not a hike.
Yeah, it's flat.
Right in the heart of Hollywood, the hills of Hollywood.
Yeah, that's
a
gem.
Is that like a top 3 for you place to go walk, hike? I know you can't hike as much incline wise.
No,
but
it is. If it's a quick destination, then sure. But my Saturday walks, if I'm going solo, I'm walking up to Sunset. I actually think I might have like a segment or something, and I'm gonna call it Up on Sunset.
Nice,
because you're up
not?
on Sunset. But the Hollywood Reservoir, I've only been a handful of times.
Yeah,
but as you know, it's pretty majestic.
It doesn't feel like you're in LA. You're surrounded by trees. It smells like trees. There are deer running up.
Yeah, lots of deer
running up to. It's like this big. It's a reservoir, so it kind of looks like a lake. It's a man-made, reservoir. And there's parts where like feels like you're in a forest. You can't see the city, but then you open up and you can see the city, and then you open up and you can see the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's a gem for anyone who hasn't been. And I took my friend there who doesn't like hiking. I was like, just come. It's a walk. It's great. Yeah. And the drive up is super fun.
Yeah, driving up to the hills.
Through those hills.
Yeah, dude. It's a good spot.
It's I just wanted to give you some shine for that, because I will be going there more. And I'm also turning other people onto it who are also loving it. So
yeah, I don't think it's like some secret.
No,
but I've
seen
it on TV.
But it's something that I've missed, and maybe now I'll watch a movie or a show and it'll pop up. But I have seen that.
I actually the way I found it, or I discovered it, was I was cutting something. This was back when I was at E, and I was cutting photos of housewives.
Oh,
and Kyle Richards, I'm sure you've heard about it through work.
She
was posting about it, and she was like, had this video of deer, and I'm like, what? Where is this place in the middle of Hollywood that has deer?
You had no idea.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm actually going in 2 weeks.
You're going in 2 weeks. Okay,
I'm going in 2 weeks.
Nice, you got that planned out.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Yeah, no, I had a free Monday this week, and I was like, texting my friend. I was like, let's get there before 9, right? After that. Like when we came back, it was like 10:30, 10:15, and it was like the parking area was a lot more full than when we got there.
Yeah,
so it's better to go
early.
And that morning air just feels so good.
And it's good for runners. I have a friend who's training for the marathon, and since it's flat, they can kind of like plan out their run.
Yeah,
based on
lots of people running
on
too.
The route.
Yeah, and 3.5, I feel like is a good number. As far as time, that should take you 1:15. It's great. It's a great hike. The Hollywood Reservoir. Wanted to give you that shine. Yeah. But also the Monday was the day after 2 very big events that happened on television that you thought we should talk about.
Yeah.
I think we should. I mean, it's good stuff. What do you want to start with? Saturday Night Live, or let's do Saturday Night Live. Yeah. Saturday Night, they celebrate their 50th anniversary. DBN's on their 7th. How big of an SNL fan are you? I guess I'm not.
I'm honestly not a huge SNL fan, to be totally honest. I'm a fan of First of all, I don't like to say I'm like a fan of much.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm just
I feel
kind
like
I'm
Turner's
kind of blasé like that. I'm just
Yeah.
like even keel across the board, music, movies, TV shows. But I would say like it was either late high school or early college. I started becoming a fan of Kristen Wiig. And that's when I started really like kind of watching SNL. I kind of would like grow up and it'd be on at my house. But I thought the SNL 50, what'd they call it? SNL 50?
SNL 50, yeah.
I thought it was really good.
It was like
I
3 hours, 4 hours? 3 hours.
It was 3 hours. I think it was a little longer than 3 hours because I turned it off at 3 hours and it was still going.
Yeah.
But yeah, huge Kristen Wiig fan.
You got to see her.
Got to see her. I was hoping she'd do one of her Target skits.
Yeah, or even Gilly.
Welcome to Target.
Yeah, I like Gilly. I like always like
Yeah.
the Gilly
They
character.
didn't do Californians, but they had a commercial.
Yeah, I did see that.
That was cool for Volkswagen. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I am a huge fan of Adam Sandler.
Dude, he
and
killed
his
it.
song,
Yeah.
he killed it.
Yeah, that was. I think a lot of people
he's
said
a
that's the
genius.
highlight of the night. Yeah, he is, and he's like, you know what's funny is when you think about Adam Sandler, like you do think about the hits, but dude, he has so many bad movies, and it like goes to show you that like it doesn't matter.
Well, what are his bad movies? I'll tell you my favorite: Mr. Deeds,
Yes.
Big Daddy,
Yes.
and Happy Gilmore are probably my 50 First Dates.
is good,
That's a
too.
good one. What are his bad ones?
I love like I mean I think his run of Netflix movies where they kind of just like I think he got to deal with Netflix.
It's funny
He's
you said
pumping
that.
them out.
'Cause I agree.
Yeah, and like even the first Grown Ups was like very clearly like it was a good hang movie, but it was also like, oh, we're like, you guys all went on vacation, and then the second one was way wonky and not great. But then he
Yeah.
did like That's My Boy and Jack and Jill.
See, I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah, and those are just like not as hitting as like Billy Madison. All in all, I just want to highlight Adam Sandler. I don't want to dog on him. I'm just saying it's crazy in his big breadth of work, even from doing things like Uncut Gems. Did you see Uncut Gems?
Nope.
Punch Drunk Love, even Funny People, dramatic roles too. But it's also like he just seems so genuine. I think too. Whenever you see him, like Will Ferrell, kind of seemed maybe he's like a grouch a little bit.
Yeah.
But Adam Sandler is just like himself.
Well, you know my Adam Sandler story.
Which one?
Because this guy always gives me shit for like name dropping, but
We talked about that last
yeah,
time.
yeah.
You did it the first time we hung out. I don't think you ever really have done it again, or at least
Well, I was heavily intoxicated too.
Well, that may be true, but I've seen you heavily intoxicated since.
Give
Dude,
or
in
take,
fact,
give or
another
take.
thing we did, we should talk about. I guess
My
we'll
dry February.
No, we will
yeah.
talk about that too. Anyways, back to SNL 50.
All right, but let me tell you my quick Adam Sandler.
Oh, Adam
story.
Sandler, yeah.
When I was in between jobs here, I started coaching gymnastics in Culver City called Jag Gym, and I coached Adam Sandler's kids and talked with
wow.
him a few times.
That's cool.
He threw like a huge Hanukkah party at the gym, and like
It was lit.
it was lit.
Dang,
It was
dude.
lit. 8 crazy nights.
That's pretty sick. That's a cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah.
Only in LA though.
Yeah.
If you were at a gym in Iowa, at a gymnastics gym, what party would you end up at?
I know, man. Up
Not
on
Adam
Sunset.
Sandler. That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but SNL 50 was great. I thought Andy Samberg did a funny sketch about. Did you see that SNL writer? Every SNL cast member has anxiety. That sketch.
Yes.
That was pretty funny, and that also kind of like made me go like, oh, I think that's a lot of people. It could just be entertainment across the board, or just whatever.
I felt it.
Right?
I
was
felt
like
it. I thought it was a genius way to kind of acknowledge.
how intense it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think it does seem like, oh, it'd be awesome, or whoa, they're up late writing. That's crazy and that's fun. But it's like, dude, I don't know. Like, it sounds like every cast member you hear would say they were in their 5th, 6th year still thinking I'm gonna get fired, and they're like, great,
Yeah.
and they're still in their head like, no, this is good. I'm not funny. Like, this is gonna end soon. Like all that stuff.
It sounds like the people like Amy Poehler, Tina Fey, when they were doing their pre-carpet or their interviews, what do you call it? Red carpet interviews?
Yeah.
Before the show, they were all saying, the gist that came across was like, when you're deep in the trenches at SNL, you're kind of like questioning your life a little bit because lack of sleep, working your butt off, etc. But once you're on the other side and you come out, you're super grateful for the experience.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's propelled so many people's careers
Yeah.
to, superstardom.
Yeah, and I mean, it was definitely like highlighting all of that, and it was It was good. I mean, there was so many dopamine hits of, oh my gosh, there's Meryl Streep, and like, oh my gosh,
That was good.
there's
Meryl Streep with the legs.
And apparently, yeah, I didn't realize she had never been on SNL before, I think, and
Yeah,
that
I
was her
didn't know that.
debut. Like, that's hilarious because ultimately SNL is the best when like the serious people become goofy and like are willing to kind of do whatever. But
Is that sorry to cut you off? Is that the longest running show?
I guess like late night shows, though, like the Tonight Show might have been on.
But I
longer.
mean, any
But-
show.
Yeah, I mean, probably of a variety.
It's pretty wild.
No, yeah, 50 years is a long time, and 50 years to still be pumping out. And I'm one where I know a lot of people are like, SNL was only good in blank era. Everyone has their own era of SNL that they think was the best. I've always followed
There's
it.
like different classes.
Yeah, I've always followed it. They're like SNL for me is like the Phoenix Suns. Like I'm gonna follow even if the roster's not great, even if the lineup's not great. I mean, I definitely still miss episodes, but
You're a frequent watcher, though?
Yeah. I'll frequently watch. I mean, it's not necessarily appointment viewing. It's honestly Sunday morning viewing. But yeah, I've always loved it, and yeah, I've got to go once, which was one of the coolest experiences. Which we talked about last time too. I was like, dang, I bring that up a lot. Yeah, I was like, dang. But yeah, no, I liked it. I think it was cool, and they're getting back to it. It's funny. I think the first host back is Shane Gillis, which Shane Gillis is a guy who, do you remember this? Like he made the SNL roster, and then a podcast clip surfaced of him. I forget, doing something with an Asian accent maybe, or making an Asian joke or something.
I think someone referenced that on the carpet.
Yeah.
Because I watched all the interviews
And
beforehand.
so he's hosting next week, which is ironic because it's like, oh, they kicked you off, but now they're letting you host. This is the second time he's hosting, but I do think he's going to acknowledge, like, I bet he's going to say something like, I wasn't invited to SNL 50, or I was invited to SNL 50, but then they took it away after they saw some of my podcast clips. But I think, I don't know, I'm still excited about SNL. The 50th was good.
What did you, without going too political here, what did you think of the MAGA Tom Hanks?
I just don't think I didn't think it was funny. Like I thought that like it just kind of ruined that bit. Like politically, like honestly, when it comes to SNL, like the politics part has always like not interested me. So like because usually it's just beating a dead horse, and I feel like that's why a lot of people like want to shut down SNL to be like, well, SNL is like political. Well, the cold open honestly always is. Like they always kind of open up and it's 90% political, but then you get all the other sketches where it's like, you know, a couple introducing the parents, or like a classroom, all the like funny sketches, but people write it off because it's political. And so, I mean, ultimately, it's the annoying, like, leave politics out of it. I get it, but it keeps them current, it keeps them relevant.
So, yeah, and I
didn't
think they
think it
should
was that
keep.
funny.
I think politics should stick around.
Yeah.
I think it's been part of their show since the beginning, and I don't think they should take that out because of this day in social media that just makes things explode in other ways.
No, yeah, and I think, I mean, they should definitely have a point of view. And like Weekend Update is probably still my favorite segment, and they're always political. But then they also go into other jokes about other news. And what's cool about where we work now is sometimes they tell the stories that are like the little niche ones that we like, that we cut video of like, a woman was bit in a mermaid tank or whatever. And it's like, that was such a weird story for us on a Monday.
Yeah.
But then they're telling a joke about it on Weekend Update. And it's like, oh, that's a cool moment.
Yeah.
Like when things like that happen. But yeah, I'll always love SNL. I don't know. Anything else on that?
No, man, I don't think
Maybe
so.
you'll have to jump
It was
start watching. I also wonder, like, they've had so many cast members. Not everyone was invited and whatnot. But, like, what did the people get who were on the cast one season? Like, did they just get a letter in the mail saying, hey, we love you?
Wait, is it the same size studio as like where Seth Meyers?
So I would say it's like the size of if Seth Meyers could go like another one and then another one on the other side.
So it's a
of
little
Seth
bigger.
Meyers. It is bigger. Yeah, it like takes up like a whole floor. It's about like, yeah, it's pretty wide, but like they walk down and do that monologue in that part.
Dude, you know what they should have done?
What?
They should have had they should have done, and I could have missed this, but they should have had like the fails. like the Ashley Simpson lip syncing fail.
Well, dude, in SNL 40, which I think maybe was better than SNL 50, to be honest, which is against what I just said about SNL, whatever being current. But in SNL 40, there's a great song, and I'm going to send you this link. It's Adam Sandler, and it's, oh my God, Andy Samberg. And,
that's good.
And they did a segment called "And That's When You Break," and it was showing all of the moments where people were busting out.
Yeah,
laughing.
that's what people live for.
No,
and
it was like talking about like Amy Poehler couldn't hold still, and she's just like shaking, and it's like bits that you don't remember or haven't seen, but it's like every cast member has to go through this. Like you're holding that straight face, but your one cast member is trying to make you laugh. Yeah. That was a great sketch because they show all the highlights.
And there was a lot of that too happening on SNL 50.
Yeah.
Not showing the highlights, but with
laughing.
the acts, people were laughing, and that's like one of the best parts.
That's the best.
Yeah.
I think. Well, so also I want to highlight right now at this exact moment, history is taking place because the United States is playing Canada in the NHL Four Nations. This is where there have been fights breaking out. There were 3 fights breaking out at the beginning of the first game.
That's pretty sick.
We are watching. They're doing the national anthem, which when they did the national anthem in Canada, it was being booed. And now they're in Boston, so they'll probably have a little more friendly American crowd.
Yeah, I'm half Canadian.
Really?
Yeah.
Which half?
My mom is Canadian.
Oh, nice. Do you have dual citizenship?
No.
Does she?
She does not. She's not an American citizen.
Wow.
So when I was...
So who are you rooting for?
I mean, I don't know.
It's got to be USA. It's got to be.
I don't know. Like lately, I've kind of been like tapping into my Canadian roots.
How do you tap into Canadian roots?
I don't know. Like I get some Roots. You know the Roots clothing brand?
Oh, okay. Is that Canadian brand?
Yeah, it's a Canadian brand.
Jeez. All right. You been listening to Drake more?
Dude.
Nah. All right. We can stay away from that. That's your homie.
Yeah. No, he's not my homie. He's not my homie.
No. Yeah. Just kidding. No. Yeah. So that's happening right now. So I might be, if something pops off, I'll let you know.
All right.
White Lotus. Move on to White Lotus.
White Lotus season 3.
Season 3. Before we get into episode 1, we'll talk a little bit about episode 1. Are you an episode, or are you a season 1 or a season 2 person?
All right. So I need help. Kind of recapping. Sydney Sweeney and Aubrey Plaza.
Separate seasons.
Separate. So Sydney Sweeney was 1 or 2?
1.
And Aubrey Plaza was 2?
2 in Sicily.
Yeah. Okay.
Aubrey Plaza had like the couples. I guess Alexander Daddario was in a couple too, where the guy was like calling his mom a lot and being a baby. Oh, and that was the one with the manager, the hotel manager, who was pretty wild.
Yeah.
The prostitutes are in
Lucas
the second
Cage,
one.
Right?
Yes, exactly. Steve Zahn.
I don't know. I'm also a big Jennifer Coolidge fan. I think she's hilarious.
Yeah.
And
so 1 or 2.
So I don't know. I also think Sydney Sweeney's like one of the hottest chicks in Hollywood. So
she watches. I think.
I honestly like them both. I don't think I'd pick.
Wow. All right.
And season 3.
I'll commit. It's season 1. I think season 1 is better,
Really?
but season 2 is just as fantastic. But I do think 1 has the edge.
Okay.
Just because, I like the performances there in that one. But the 3 like generations, the dad, the grandpa, and the kid, that was a great bit in the second one, and the 2 couples, that was spicy.
That what's that? What's the dude's name? The handsome dude?
Theo James.
That kind of put him on the map.
Yeah. And then the other guy in it was in A Real Pain, which is a new movie that's Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin are in, that's nominated for Best Picture, I believe. And Kieran Culkin's probably going to win the Oscar for supporting actor in that one. But yeah, what do you think of episode 1? For me, a lot of exposition. Nothing too crazy. A lot of setups, right? We're in a new place.
I think it was really good. I was watching, and I'm like, do the people know when they're going to this hotel? This is kind of like outside thinking. but also inside thinking. Like, what are the what are the show producers thinking? Do the people like going to visit these hotels? Do they not hear the horror stories from the past? It's like, yeah, we're going to the White Lotus. Like, it's gonna be super beautiful and magical, but people get killed at these resorts.
Wow.
So
that's a fair point. Especially the lady who was in the first season, and then now she's in the third season. She was the masseuse
she was in the first.
She was in the first season.
I thought she was in the second.
No, she was in the first season with Jennifer Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge was
in both. Yes, she was in both. Did you know what show we're talking about?
I do, but I'm not good at. Are you sure Jennifer Coolidge was in both?
Yes.
I know she died and she fell.
Whoa!
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Bleep.
I guess.
I'm gonna bleep that.
Yeah.
No.
she fell off the ship.
Yes.
That was the worst.
No. So what? That well, no. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying, yeah. I think that what is her name? Belinda, the woman who's coming from Hawaii trying to get a fresh start in Thailand. You would even think she would be like, "Yo, I've seen some stuff."
So she wasn't in season 2.
She was not in season 2. No.
Would you put money on that?
Yes, Coolidge is the only one to carry over.
Did you going back to season 3? How long did it take you to realize that Zion was her kid? Was it at the end? You know who Zion is?
No, what are you talking about?
Zion, I think that's his name. That's her kid when she's on the phone and was like, "Baby, I feel so good about this move. Like, this is gonna be good for us. Can't wait to see you in a couple weeks." The very first scene, when the people are shooting, and he's traveling through the water. He's like talking about his mom.
Yeah.
His mom is the masseuse.
Oh.
And at the end, that's when she was on the phone.
Wow, yeah, I honestly did not make that connection. Jeez, dude, yeah, went whatever in my head. It was a long night of watching stuff too, though.
It was good, man.
I was thinking I needed to rewatch it before, but ultimately, I just feel like we got all the characters. I think of all of them. So you get the 3 ladies, who 2 of them are competitive, and there's a third left out. I think that is a great dynamic. I'm so excited to see how that dynamic plays out. And then you get the family, which the dad sounds like he's in trouble. The media's calling him and telling him, "Hey, we're gonna run with this," which is so funny to hear that. Because it's just funny because we work at TMZ and it's like we don't always know what's going on the other side. We don't know what's going on either side of the phone call, but it's funny they're communicating with journalists, or he's trying to, and they're trying to get quotes and they're trying to run stories by him. Otherwise, they have to get it out.
Yeah, he was low key panicking when he hung up the phone,
and that leaves a good amount of mystery. But then what's going on with those siblings too? Is I saw there's a good
that shit is weird.
They're like there's clearly a dynamic, or there must be a backstory.
They're making it seem like there's a dynamic.
Yeah, there's got to be a backstory there where something went wrong, and I saw there was like a still of the 3 of them sitting there, and they were all doing "Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil." Did you see that?
Yeah, I don't.
It was like all of them sitting on the boat, and apparently one of them has headphones in.
Oh yeah. When they were going to the island.
One of them's covering his mouth, and one of them has like glasses on or something. I forget what it was. But I think that family's interesting. Got some setups for like some explosions, because that's kind of what the White Lotus is it's this long fuse.
Yeah, they plant little seeds,
and you're like, man, when is this all gonna go crazy?
Yeah. How many episodes is it?
I think it's usually like 7 or 8.
Did you?
What else? Yeah, what else? Do you
okay. Well, first of all, you didn't answer me about.
Should they have heard things?
Yeah, because if they're bringing back the masseuse, then clearly it's a chain of hotels.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
It's a chain hotel.
It is. Yeah.
So do these people not hear about these crazy horror stories?
I mean,
what's the thought process?
Well, I guess that's like, not to make it too current, but I guess that's like a Delta flight attendant being like, "Oh, did you hear about those planes?" It's like, yeah.
So it'd be like a Hilton hotel,
right,
or the Ritz, or
I think it's supposed to be the Ritz. To be honest, I like specifically. But yeah, no, I mean, if one thing happens at a Ritz on the other, like, oh my gosh, we're in the news. Oh shoot.
Right.
Whoa, someone died there. Crazy.
Maybe.
Anyways, what do we get for
go.
lunch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, like, it's still a great, nice hotel, and who knows? Maybe they swept things under the rug. Maybe we're gonna get to the end of this, and there's gonna be like a boardroom of people who run the White Lotus, and like they've been behind all of it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, we're just seeing different locations.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do think that's a fair point, continuity wise.
Okay,
else you got?
another question I had, and from what it seems like, you're not too observant.
No, sure.
So, the girl with the crooked teeth.
Yes.
And
love
also,
her.
like, is
Is
she just gonna be known as like the girl with the crooked teeth?
Sort of. I don't know.
That's not my question, but
she's in the show Sex Education, and she's fantastic.
yeah.
So
no, I think she's great.
Yeah, I think she's great in this too.
Okay, so she's at the hotel bar towards the end, and then this hot chick goes up and they have a drink together. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then they're talking about like how there's rich bald guys on this island, and she's like, yeah, that's my husband. Was Jennifer Coolidge's?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Correct. I didn't see that. Yeah,
I didn't know if that was him or if it wasn't.
That for sure is him, and it's gonna be some shadiness there. He's the recurring character this season too. That he's back.
But wasn't he shady in season 2?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And then
it was thought that like he was bringing her as the lamb to be slaughtered in that second one. Yeah. So he was a part of some weird ring and that he had connection to the people on the boat.
Yeah, I think he's got something to do.
Yeah, but he got out of that Sicily situation. Unless this is a prequel. Actually, no, it's not. It can't be. I guess if she's coming from Thailand or coming from Hawaii to Thailand. How do you feel about it being Thailand? And how did you feel about the song not being...
I want to go to Thailand.
Yeah, Thailand. Dude, that's the thing is White Lotus is fantastic at atmosphere. Like, you want to go to Hawaii after watching that first season.
Yeah.
And, like, you want to go to Sicily watching that second season. Like...
The way they shoot the animals and like it's a really good show.
But the song doesn't bump. The song isn't that. But did you, Mr. Observant? Did you listen to the theme? It's not that. It's actually much more chill and much more ambient.
They're setting the vibe of Thailand.
But did you see that? That was a thing. People were mad. I saw even weird. I was in the kitchen. The news was on TV. It was Fox Local or something, and it said fans upset about White Lotus theme. Yeah. And my friend who we went to the Reservoir together, she was saying too that she was upset about it. And there were TikToks of people like at White Lotus parties getting ready to like bump, and then they're like waiting for the beat to drop, and it never happened. Yeah,
I could see them bringing it in like during some suspenseful thing in an episode.
Yeah, we ultimately I think landed on the fact that it was probably purposefully left out and purposefully different, because I don't know. What else you got? Anything else?
That's all I got on the episode. I thought it was really good. I love how they bring in fresh-faced actors.
Yeah.
That make their careers pop.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
You know, as you know, I'm not a huge TV guy. I know it makes zero sense.
I'm not a big TV guy either.
But
I'm a big movie guy though.
Yeah. I'm not either. But I thought it was good, man.
No, I agree. I think there will be more to talk about with this season as it goes on. Again, this is episode 1. It's hard. But I also know that I could fall off a show at any point. I realized that recently too. I'm not good with. I fell on off of Entourage, couldn't finish it.
Dude, speaking of Entourage,
you're watching it again.
I'm about to start. It's like how I kick off into summer. It like gets me pumped for summer. So I think I'll probably start it in April.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel free to join.
Yeah, I know. I mean, listen. Maybe I'd try it again. But I think, so The Bear was hot, and I was watching The Bear. Did you ever watch that? I didn't
watch The Bear.
I did.
I think I tried.
I did too, and then I didn't finish the second season. Like,
I have the Bear story too.
Really?
You know the Bear.
Do what? Wait. Start telling it.
The house. That's no.
Oh yes. Yeah. Oh, that was a crazy one, dude.
That's a good story.
That is pretty crazy. Yeah. Shout out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I'm excited for it. And then The Last of Us starts too, which we've talked about The Last of Us on the DBN as well, and even White Lotus. If White Lotus gets good, probably tag in some of the boys who like to come talk TV, dude, and we'll get you back.
Yeah, get me
this
back.
is so easy
Talk
for you to
White
come
Lotus.
over
Yeah,
right
dude.
after work.
Yeah, dude.
Another thing I wanted to ask you about, I guess.
Hit me.
Dry February. It's February 20th today, right? So you got a week from tomorrow. So next Friday, it's a Friday, is the 28th.
Will I break it?
Will you break it then?
Okay, so I already broke it.
Oh.
First time when
So you haven't done dry February. I'm that person.
I'm doing dry February. To me, like being dry. Actually, I'm not even gonna put that out there because I don't want to get any backlash or anything.
So you're gonna get a ton of backlash.
But I was like coughing really hard, and there was nothing nearby, so I took a swig of your beer.
Oh yeah. I was
But last weekend, I actually had I don't know if I want to tell this story.
You don't have to.
But so last weekend, I ended up having 2 drinks.
Oh, okay. Well,
but
you've stayed dried until, I mean, you had 1 drink in February, so that's fine. 2 drinks in February.
Yeah, I think
3.
like for me, at the beginning of every year, I feel like this probably sounds so like LA or whatever, but I feel like I need a cleanse.
Yeah.
And
I feel like I need that almost after every weekend. I'm always like, dude. Or I come back from a trip where it was like a bender, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I don't drink for the next month, and then then we go to a week of work, and then it's like, yeah, maybe I do.
Yeah, I'm starting to get the itch, I guess, a little bit. It has not been hard, and I don't count having a couple of beverages. Like,
you can sleep at night, dude.
I can sleep. I'm sleeping a lot better.
But you also picked February. You picked the easiest.
February is a shorter month. Last year I did January, and I also cut out marijuana, and
nice.
I went through like some crazy like
detox.
It was not good.
Oh, Jan.
So I recommend not doing that.
Wow. All right. Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to Vegas in March.
Yeah.
So I'll either the first weekend of March. So
There's always something. There's always something.
Yeah. I'll either break it there. Or
wait, are you going? Is that St. Patty's weekend? You're going the second weekend.
The weekend before, I'm going for a bachelor party. The weekend after, I'm going to watch the LA Marathon.
What energy do you bring to a bachelor party, especially a Vegas bachelor party?
I've only been to 2.
Okay.
I've been to one. My brother's in Montreal.
Ooh.
And by the way, I don't know if you know this, but in Montreal, there is a tradition where the bachelor has to have a stripper's heel or stiletto shoved up their anus.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's like a thing there.
Wow.
And then my second bachelor party was in Vegas.
Okay.
And I don't know what kind of energy I bring, but
is it a big group? Is it a good group? Are you nervous?
I'm not nervous.
Are you going to be able to keep up? Are they going to be able to keep up?
The only thing I'm nervous about is the drive.
Yeah.
With my good old back.
Yeah.
But I think I'll have a couple buddies in the car, and maybe they'll like drive, and I can just kind of lay back for a little bit. But I already got 2 playlists ready to go. One for the drive, one for party time.
Nice.
I guess I'd be nervous to like lose some money, but you kind of have to have money to lose money.
Yeah, true.
But no, man, I'm pumped.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so one other thing that I want to say. Well, 2 things. I guess I have 3 things left.
Okay.
Unless you have anything else.
I don't think so.
Okay, so first I want to say is you brought up last weekend or 2 weekends ago, you had some of my beer. We were at Shabbat. Which, when we talked a year ago, I had only been to yours, and that night we were going to, Eagle Rock or something out there, Silver Lake. And then we were out in Silver Lake. We went to that house behind. Dude,
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I know. But since we've been to a bunch, and I don't know, like how have you felt that community has grown, or how has it been for you? Because like it's cool. It's like we were talking about, it's a great group of friends that get together and eat. And like, I don't know.
It's really cool. Like today I got a text from Val, who you met, who's house
shout out Val.
Love you, Val. She texted like a different group of people. So I felt the love to be included in both. But hey, are you guys down for last minute Shabbat tomorrow? So that's kind of usually how it rolls. Or if it's like the one that you came to at my place, that was a big one. There was like 30 people in my apartment.
Yeah.
But no, it's been really fulfilling, and you know, it's been nice just to have you know, a good community, good people, good food,
Yeah.
You know, it's like having a Thanksgiving on a Friday night,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah, totally. And like it also doesn't feel like overly like socially exhausting necessarily.
There was.
I mean,
There was this dude.
Oh,
There was this
no.
dude that I just totally left Dylan hanging. Do you remember that guy?
Oh, the NBA talk.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I got through it. I mean, luckily there was stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wasn't also like, I wasn't dapped out. I was talking.
See, I was.
Yeah.
I on Fridays I'm just.
It is Fridays.
zonked.
It's hard.
Um.
But it was right here. It was also right after work. It was.
Yeah.
It was a long day. When you pair work with like, that's why I feel like Friday is hard to get people to do anything. It's hard with my schedule of being Sunday to Thursday.
Yeah. How do you what goes through your head when we're doing the prayers? Like, do you feel awkward? Do you feel like, what do I do?
No, I mean, because I have so much church experience, and it actually makes me go like, oh, this is probably what other people felt when we were praying, because I didn't really understand what you guys were saying, and like I didn't know what it meant to each one of you, but I also like you all knew it, and it was like it's either something you grew up with, or I mean, it's something that you're doing in your early 30s or your late 20s or however old everyone is.
Yeah.
In LA, and like I mean, it's definitely like a whoa. I mean, this is cool. This is special. This is like people getting together, loving each other, eating food, and like I don't know. I just think that's cool and hard to find in LA.
Yeah.
And so to me, there was not really it's not weird.
Yeah.
Is it weird for you like to have someone who's there who isn't comfortable, that you're like,
no, man.
oh shoot, does he think this is like what I'm saying?
No, I love it. I love bringing people in that aren't of Jewish faith. I think I told you on the last time I was on, growing up, my brother and I did not enjoy doing Jewish festivities for whatever reason. I think we kind of felt like maybe it was like shoved at us, even though looking back it was not. My parents are amazing, and we're just, now I realize they were just teaching us tradition.
Yeah.
So now when we do these Shabbats on Friday nights, it kind of brings me back to like doing stuff with the fam.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little slice of home, it seems.
Exactly.
Like, and I think a lot of people would feel that with like even just going to church in LA. Like, I mean, churches in LA are different and whatnot too, but it's still, at least you're listening to music, you're taking a second to pray, you're centering yourself to what your foundation was.
Yeah.
And like maybe when you come to LA, you get away from that a little bit, but like it's a great way to center. And like it's just so cool that like there are people my age, and like we're all sitting there. We've all had a long week. We've all like have been grinding, and we all like wish we had better paying jobs, or we all wish maybe we all those things.
Totally.
That like, but for a time, everyone can just stop and eat and be with each other, and like, I just think that's a special thing.
Yeah,
so I'm grateful to be invited a bunch.
Yeah, man. You want to go tomorrow? I'm
no.
not going, but
I can't go.
But no, it's a great way to bring us back down a little bit.
One thing we've done in the last year that I want to highlight, that was one of my favorite nights of 2024. Do you know where I'm going with this?
One of our nights?
You and I, it was something you and I did.
Oh, Lizzy McAlpine? Is it McAlpine or McAlpine?
I think it's McAlpine.
Dude, I have her. She shuffles on my music from time to time.
That was just such a cool, fun.
That was great, man.
This kind of goes in line with what I was telling you too. Of like, this is like it's such an LA thing. It feels. I guess maybe every city, but like you can discover an artist and you can probably see them within like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I feel
unless
like
they're like on a world tour,
right?
But if you discover an artist who's small, more than likely,
exactly, that's the key. They have to be somewhat small.
And if they're small, more likely they're LA based or they're New York based. And we got lucky. This was an LA based. I heard her rendition of Teenage Dirtbag on YouTube. It popped up on my shuffle. And it was like one of those, I was working and
your whole For You page is probably just Lizzy McAlpine.
Well, I was like, it was a Phoebe Bridgers like mix and they threw this in there and I stopped what I was doing and I clicked over and I was like, what is this? And yeah, within 2 weeks, I was like, I need to go see this show. And I asked you if you wanted to go. You didn't know who she was either, but you were just like, you were down to go. We were at the Greek Theater.
Dude, it was
May. It was the beginning of summer. The night was so
beautiful
nice.
night.
Yeah, dude,
that was great. We got to do that again.
Yeah, that was just fun, and that was so on. Like, that's a good LA night of just on the whim, Like that's nowhere close to me. And I think I did work the next day.
Dude, yeah, you did.
But it was still like I gotta go do this, and that was fun. So I want to highlight that. She's great too.
She was great.
Yeah,
she had some fans there.
Yes,
she had some fans.
Yeah,
she filled that place up.
Filled the place up. I think she did 2 nights there too. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, we sat next to like some popular podcast host. Yeah.
Oh, he was to the right of me, right?
Yeah, he was sitting next to you. Like you guys would like talk about. Like you'd be like, "Oh, that's such a good song" or whatever. Yeah, I wish I knew his name.
Wait.
He did it. He did her biggest interview, which was like.
So she knows who he.
Yeah. It's Zach something. He interviews like I think he's interviewed Ariana Grande. He interviews like.
Dylan was like, "Yo, that dude to the right."
I'm like, that's somebody, which is so ironic. I just watched. Because I had just watched him 2 days before because we were going to the concert, and I was like, let me watch
those moments are so like good though, and like I actually was like I was walking Melrose the other day, and
you would have had no idea. I told you would have just talked. You would have thought this was a guy, and then I sent you the clip, and it has thousands and thousands of views. He's like a big deal.
Yeah. No, I think that happens. That happened to me on Melrose the other day, and
who was it? Wait, were you already telling this?
I don't think so. It was the Jesse. I don't know how to say his name. From John Tucker Must Die. Jesse
Metcalf.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, he was just walking in to get his haircut.
Nice.
So just like little things like that. It's
just like crazy,
and it's also very motivating. Like okay, like I got this. Like I'm in Hollywood, and like I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I think it's good to like see it and like have that like cross paths with you, and because it just keeps the mojo flowing.
Yeah,
good juju to come back.
Yeah, no, it was that was a real fun night. That was one of my favorite nights, probably in LA, but definitely last year. Cause it was sick.
Love it, man.
All right, last thing I want to do.
Yeah, man.
This is my this is my Jeff Probst bag.
Okay. You got a bag of goodies.
There's a couple movies in here. And you're either going to tell me if you've seen them or what you think of them.
Okay, well, I mean, I think you already know the answer 9 out of 10 is going to be no.
First one, Dumb and Dumber.
I have seen it.
How do you feel about it?
I can't really remember it, but I know it's a classic. And you're going to pull out a bunch of classics. And I am a fan of Jim Carrey. The Mask is one of my favorite movies.
You go The Mask. Okay, that's great. I think that's probably top 3 Jim Carrey.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so I got some.
Yeah. I agree. You're good.
I got some clout.
Okay. I don't think you've seen this movie, but I think you could comment on the lead of this movie. The Edge of 17, starring, who's that say in the top left?
That's my baby girl. A ring on her left finger don't mean shit. But that's Haley Steinfeld.
17. Woody Harrelson.
Another little drop.
You have not seen this?
I have not seen that, but I worked with her on Pitch Perfect 3.
Okay, so there we go. At least we got a connection out of it. I think this is one of the best coming of age movies of the 2010s. All right, then I'll watch it.
Yeah. Because I like her. Is she of age in this?
She is. She's playing a 17-year-old, but she's older than 17.
Okay.
But that doesn't matter. Also, it's a really good performance. It's a really good there's a couple solid stuff. Okay, how about this one? Zombieland.
Nope.
You've not seen Zombieland.
Nope. So but I mean I know. That's Emma Stone?
Zombieland, I think, is such an easy recommend just because, it's just fun the whole time. And it's, crazy ridiculous. It was during the time where zombies were, everything. But the connection here, Mike White, creator of White Lotus, is in this movie.
Okay.
So that's why I brought it up.
Good to know.
And it's just one of the best.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Okay.
All right, Zombieland.
Got it.
Edge of 17. Okay, how about this one?
Love it. Classic.
Sandlot.
That's one of my favorite movies, too.
The Sandlot. Yep. One of your favorite movies.
I was, for Halloween this year, I was this guy.
Oh, you're Squints.
I was Squints.
Wow. Did you have a Wendy?
3 nights in a row.
Did you have a Wendy Peppercorn?
I did not. Still looking on the Hinge.
No, dude. Dude, how is Hinge in 2025? That's a good question.
Dude.
Because,
in short, I've been on the Hinge for a few weeks now. I get on maybe 10 minutes a night. It's not for me.
I'm surprised that dating apps have when Tinder first came out, that was a big deal, right? And then Bumble and then Hinge, but I feel like it hasn't evolved anymore. It's not. And Raya's its own thing for exclusivity.
Yeah. I don't know. I have friends that are now married with their partners on Hinge.
I know people.
And I think the good that's gonna come out of it is like I know if I were to meet someone, I would like for it to be out. So I think it's gonna push me to like get out more.
I like that.
Yeah.
The Sandlot. Yeah, great movie. So is Squints your favorite, probably?
Yeah, I think I don't know if I could pick a favorite, but yeah, I think he's like the funniest.
Yeah,
but
no,
it's
Squints.
such a great movie.
Squints
It's a classic.
Okay, and then this one goes with the times. You probably haven't seen this movie. Miracle.
I think I have seen that movie
Just a while ago.
but I can't remember.
Team
'Cause
USA.
how old is that movie?
2004, I believe.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
You're
no.
just busting out all the
That's it.
the DVD classics.
That's it. I mean, I got a collection up here. So I just I knew you'd be able to weigh in on some of them, but this, of course, because Team USA Hockey currently down 1-0 with 10 minutes to go in the first period, was my favorite sports movie of all time. This movie could make me cry, at a moment's notice.
You know, I went to.
I didn't finish it
You
recently.
didn't finish it?
I didn't finish it recently because that last 45 minutes, I was like, I don't need
It was
that.
a rewatch. I
I'd
actually
rather
went
live
to the Stanley Cup when the Avalanche won in 2001, I think.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Dang, that's high stakes.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it. That was the three things that I have for you. Thanks so much again, dude, for being on. We'll have you on again. Maybe we'll have you and your co-host on, like when you got your
Dude,
podcast.
that would be great.
I get to just interview you both. We could just do it, however you want to do it.
Yeah, man, that'd be great.
Come set up or whatever. But thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll have you
dude.
back for White Lotus too.
Yeah, man. Thanks for
Um,
having me.
If you're listening, subscribe, comment below what you like about Eric, what you don't like about Eric. Any type of engagement's honestly good. So if you got something bad to say, that's
Say it.
helpful. Yeah. Say it with your chest. All right. We'll see you next time.